The length of the longer leg of a right triangle is 9 meters more than 5 times the length of the shorter leg. The length of the hypotenuse is 20 meters more than 5 times the length of the shorter leg. Find the sides of the triangle. Okay, so there's some various unknowns here. We don't know any of these three lengths. If you notice, it tells us that the longer leg is 19 meters more than 5 times the length of the shorter leg. So let's pick X to be the length of our shorter leg. And now that would mean if we want 19 more than 5 times this shorter leg, we'd have to do 5 times the length of the shorter leg, so 5x plus 19. That's going to be the length of our longer leg. Okay, now it says the length of the hypotenuse is 20 meters more than 5 times the length of the shorter leg. So again, we're starting with that shorter leg length of x. We're multiplying it by 5, so that would be 5 times the length of the shorter leg, but 20 more than that would be plus 20. And so now we can draw our triangle. So here's our right triangle, the right angle here. So the two legs are the ones that are adjacent to that right angle, and so our shorter leg would be x, our longer leg would be 5x plus 19. It actually will be quite a bit longer than this in my drawing. And then the hypotenuse is this one, always directly across from the right angle. All right, so the Pythagorean theorem tells us that if I square one of the legs and I add that to the square of the other leg, that's going to be equal to the square of the hypotenuse. So C always represents the length of the hypotenuse. All right, so let's plug in the pieces that we know here. Okay, it doesn't matter which is A and which is B, so let's just start with x as our A. So x squared plus our other leg is the 5x plus 19. It's important to put that in parentheses because we're squaring the whole thing. And then our C is the hypotenuse. So again, we'll put that in parentheses because we're squaring all of that quantity. Okay, so let's do some simplifying. Remember that when you square something, it's the same as writing it out twice. And so then you would have to apply FOIL, first, outer, inner, and last. Okay, so this gives us x squared plus 25x squared, that's from the 5x times 5x, and then plus 190x, that would be the outer and inner terms added together, and plus 361. And then squaring this one on the right side would give us 25x squared plus 200x plus 400. All right, I'd like everything to be on one side and have 0 on the other. And so I'm going to start by subtracting 25x squared from both sides. All right, so that will cancel those out. I'm going to bring down my x squared. And then subtracting the 200x from both sides, that would leave negative 10x. And then subtracting the 400 from both sides, so that I would have negative 39, and then on the right side, 0. So now my job is to factor this trinomial. I'm looking for two numbers that would multiply to the negative 39 and add up to the negative 10. And so if you think about it, 1 times 39 or 3 times 13 are the only ways to get 39. And so it looks like I want the 3 and the 13. If I make the 13 negative, then that would, the 3 and the negative 13 would add up to the negative 10. And 3 times negative 13 is negative 39. Okay, so this factors into x plus 3 x minus 13, and that equals 0. And so if I set each one of these equal to 0 and solve it for x, I would have x equals negative 3 or x equals positive 13. Since this is a physical problem and x is the length of a side, it cannot be negative. So we know it's not that. So x must be 13. So now I can go back up here to each side and plug in the 13 for x. So the length of that shorter side is going to be 13 meters. This length of the longer leg would be 5 times 13 plus 19. So that's 65 plus 19 would be 84 meters. And then this next one, 5 times 13 plus 20 for the hypotenuse would be 65 plus 20 would be 85 meters.